Onward, the session is recorded. So let's get started. In this session, we will review basic Python stuff. We'll talk a bit about the tuples, and then we will have like some introduction to Pygame and how it actually all works. We'll also present you with your first exercise for home, and we'll grade that afterwards. There will be a couple of top hat questions, so prepare your top hat for that. You will be prompted beforehand to do so, so be ready. Let's get to the review, right? This review will be very quick. Its main objective is not to like teach you stuff, but it is to just review what you already know. It will be fast. If you are still unsure about something in Python, these slides will be available to you, so go over them at the home in much slower pace. Right, so first we have if-else statements. Those are our main conditional statements in Python. They do answer one question, and that is if the condition is true, they will do something, and if it's not true, they will do something else. Note that if each if statement doesn't have to be followed by else, but there will be always implicit else in this case. Then we have elif statements. Those are something like middlemans between if and else. They will only trigger when the if statement is not true and the elif statement is true. If some elif statement was matched, all the subsequent elif statement will be skipped. So in this case, we will check is the grade greater or equal than 95, which is not the case. Is the grade greater or equal than 90? That's again not the case. It's the grade greater or equal than 80. It is. We'll print B and we will skip else. If the grade was greater or equal than 90, we'll print A and skip the second elif. So we will only print A. Let's talk about the different equal signs in Python. Python do differentiate between two different equal signs, only one equal signs and two equal signs back to back. One equal sign is usually used as assignment for variables, sets, and that's about it. Double equality is used for equality. So it's the equivalent to logical equal. So it's used to check whether something is equal to something else. So that's your condition. A quick question. You can think about that while I, do the top hat thinking. So yeah, just join in the top hat and we will start soon enough. So yeah, start the question. You have 2 minutes to answer this question. If you do so, you will get those sweet 10 points. If you do not, then yeah, you don't.
Can you please show the question?
Oh, here you go. Sorry for that.
Thank you.
Lucas, could you answer Kanto's question?
Oh, okay, I will. Sorry for that. So, yeah, the correct answer was less than 20, but greater than 0, which should be correct. Most of you did answer correctly, like 70% of you, which is great. So, yeah, good job, everyone. Now we will go over loops and lists. Lists are just a collection of variables which can be accessed with one name and the index. We usually define lists using square brackets on both sides and the elements inside. Elements inside can be of any type, and if we want to access some value from the array or list, we'll use the name of the array and the index in square brackets. If we want to change that value, it is also possible with the assign operator that's equal. A list function cheat sheet. We do have like a len, we do have append, remove, and clear. Note that remove can be slow in very long lists because it has to reindex all the numbers from your removed element till the end, which can be slow on large arrays or lists. Append is costless, same as length. If we want to quickly loop over some list, we can do that without using the index. We'll do it simply by calling for item in list. It will access each and every element of the list, and it will be stored in item inside the loop. You can go while with that. Then we have while loops. While loops are kind of similar to for loops, but instead of having a strict condition or strict iterator in the condition, we declare some variable that will be used as our control variable. In our case, it's I, and we will check each and every time the loop is started if our control variable meets the criteria of our condition. In our case, I is lower than I. And it will do the loop. And if we do not define step or some kind of change for our control variable, while loop will never end. So be careful about that. While loops doesn't have to end if you define your control variable badly. We have another quick question. So yeah, join in the top hat and answer the question.
Uh,
Okay, so yeah, the correct answer should be 3, and everybody that answered it correctly. So good job, guys. Good job. Let's continue. Now we will talk quickly and briefly about functions. Functions are some kind of blocks of code that we can reuse freely. They are much shorter than writing everything, and it's also neater because if you want to change something, you only need to change it in one function instead of like changing it everywhere throughout your whole code, which can be tedious. And and it's also nice because we should follow try principle, so do not repeat yourself. And yeah, if you do not do that, so please start. You will thank me later. Function are defined as follows. You first need to use the def keyword, which is shorthand for define. Then it is followed by the name of the function, which is followed by opening a round bracket inside which can be parameters. Parameters can be of any type and of any number. If you want more than one, you will split them by comma, and it's followed by closing bracket and double dot. Also, then you will use a function. Then you will define function body with with some indent, which is usually one or one tab or 4 spaces, and you can but you don't have to define return value. Let's talk about some function example. Our function add will take 2 parameters a and b. We'll sum them internally and return the sum of them. So if we want to do that, it will be defined as follows. Calling a function is fairly simple and straightforward. If you want to call a function, you will enter the keyword or name of the function you defined, and then you will follow it by round brackets inside which you will specify your parameters. If you want to like store the return value, you will assign whole function call to the variable, and it will store only the return value. Quick question again. Let's go to top heads. So yeah, what's wrong with this segment of code? You have 2 minutes to answer. Okay, so looks like everyone think it is B, like majority of you. By majority, I mean 83% of you. And yeah, you're right. Indeed, the function does not return anything. So now let's talk about the tuples. Tuples are very similar to lists, but there is one key difference. They cannot be changed, so we call them immutable. They are defined very similarly as lists, but instead of using square brackets, you will use round brackets, but the calling or accessing parameters from tuple, you will also use square brackets as in lists and index. So now that we kind of reviewed everything, it's time to try that. And let's break into the rooms and you can try solving this exercise. We'll meet again in the main channel about 20 minutes from now or something like that. Rooms, open all rooms. So yeah, go in them, go inside and solve the question. Inside the event section. Okay, and at the end we have our draw section. Draw section does basically that. It draw into like separate buffer or separate screen, which is usually hidden. And afterwards, after everything is drawn, you will call display flip, and it means those two screens will swap, and the screen to which you drawn throughout the whole loop will be now displayed, and the other one, old one, will be now hidden, and it will be used to, again, as your screen to draw everything, and at the end, it will flip again. So you do have like two screens, one is main, and the other is hidden. You are primarily drawing on the hidden screen, and only when you call display flip, the hidden screen will be displayed and the main screen will be hidden. So be aware of that. And if something is not showing, probably you forgot your display flip. So check that. You can format you can fill your screen with any color. It is using RGB values, primarily in range of from 0 to 255. So you can use online color picker, something like Google, or there are many ways how to get your colors. So we can probably run this code and see what it do. What does it do? But hopefully, sure. So we do have our main code, which is basically what we downloaded, and I probably do not have a virtual environment. So now we can run that and we'll see that our game will, if it decides to load. That's the question. Okay, and my computer is not happy with all of this. So you can run it on your computer and it will work. There are no errors in this, just my computer is lazy and doesn't want to run this code. So now we can move to how you define your first object in the Pygame. And our first object will be basically rectangle. We will use a dot operator, or we will access the rect object, which is some box that stores an information about how big it is, where it displays, what is its color, and whatnot. And note that rect is only some kind of template which doesn't draw the rectangle itself. You need to use Pygame draw for that, as that's the dedicated draw method. Rectangle itself only stores information about the rectangle. So beware about that. And if your rectangle is not drawn, then probably you forgot draw rectangle. Let's say that we want our rectangle to be placed on 50, 100, 200, and 150, which is always defined as top left, X and Y, and then it is followed by its width and its height. So in this case, our Pygame rectangle is defined as it is placed on the coordinates 50, 100 with the width of 200 and height of 150. If we want to draw it in specific color, we will use draw rectangle on which screen we want to use it. In our case, it's screen. With what color we want to draw it, we must define that somewhere as a tuple of 3 variables, of 3 values specifically, and those are red, green, and blue values. And what do we want to draw? In our case, we want to draw Pygame rectangle. So that. If we want to change the position of rectangle, we can do so because rectangle stores internally the values of X, Y, width, and height. And if we want to change them, we will simply access them by the name of the rectangle, which we defined. Our rectangle is called rect, and the value which we want to change. In our case, if we want to change Y, we will just simply use the assign operator on rect.y and put the value which we are interested in. You can also use it with shorthand expressions like times equal or plus equal. It works just the same as if you were assigning the value to the variable. Now, let's talk about, first of all, there is important thing about Ignite certification. If you attend 6 out of 8 lessons, you will be warrior. If you attend 6 out of 8 lessons and complete 6 out of 8 assignments, you will be champion. And if you attend at least 6 out of 8 session, if you meet all the champions criteria and finish a final project and attend end of year gala, you will be a legend. And yeah, that's what you want. Again, important thing, after you finished your exercise, please submit it to the Google form, which is shown on screen. And so, and like the submissions are due after your session at 11:59 p.m. or just before midnight. No late submission will be accepted. And again, if you want to see how many Ignites points you got, visit our slides, and there will be a link to here where they will be posted. So I will advise you to copy this form, and I will post it inside the chat as well. But give me a moment for that.
I already did it, don't worry.
Oh, okay. So, sure. So now that we know the basics, we can split inside the breakout rooms, and you can work on your exercises. You can ask the mentors, And by this, the session is roughly over, and the breakout rooms will be cancelled roughly at 12:30 to 12:40.